warm? Yeah, nice and snuggly. Oh, I have a surprise. Welcome to the last animal show ever at Cypress Gardens. No, it's just make me feel better about this. You're not doing a very good job. Yay! Yay! No more work vacation. Does this mean I get to retire now? Am I old enough to retire? That's not going to work out for me. All right. I guess I'll go have to rake my own yard. All right. My name's Crystal. I'm part of the animal care team here at Cypress Gardens. Like I said, I want to welcome you to the last animal show here. Are we all ready to have a good time? Yeah. All right. We're going to have lots of fun. What we have is a lot of reptiles I'm going to be showing you guys. You can't exactly teach a snake to jump through a hoop. So what we're going to have is I'm going to have some volunteers come up here. You're going to be able to hold some of our reptiles. So I'm going to say, hey, who wants to help me out? You can raise your hand, and we'll have a good time doing that. And we do have some other animals coming out that I'm not going to need volunteers for. What we're going to do is just show you them. Very cute and snuggly little guys. But I do ask that everybody please keep your voices down, because I want to remind you we are working with live animals here, and they do get very scared and spooked very easily. And we're not going to try to keep them out very long because it is very chilly. We don't exactly have sweaters small enough for our snakes, so it's not going to work out too well. So with that being said, is everyone ready to get started with the show? Yay. All right, for my first animal, I am going to need my first volunteer. All right, FIU, little pink sweater. How are you today? Good. What's your name? Bailey? That's a pretty name. Pink's my favorite color, too. Just want to let you know. All right, Bailey, do you like reptiles? You like all reptiles? You want to be surprised then? All right, she wants to be surprised. All right, you're going to meet our first little guy. This is Cyrus. He is our baby American alligator. Are you excited? I know, it's cute, huh? And the gator's not bad either. All right, hold your hands out. You're nice and strong, right? I know you are. There you go. Vanessa's going to show you how to hold this little guy. All right, Cyrus here is an American alligator. He is about 3 years old. As everybody can see, he does have a band of black electrical tape wrapped around his nose right here, but it's not supposed to actually down here, so I know you're probably wondering if he can breathe. He's perfectly fine. We're not that cruel. But he does have his mouth taped because even at his small size, he has enough jaw pressure to take an adult finger off in one quick snap. But you look pretty comfortable, and I know you like reptiles, so I'm going to go ahead and take his tape off, okay? So everybody can see his 80 razor sharp teeth. Is that okay? You're not supposed to say that. I'm sorry. That's not the right answer. No, we're not going to be doing that today, because he obviously wasn't listening about the whole finger taken off part. All right, you can go ahead and hand Cyrus back to Vanessa. She's going to walk him around for everyone to see. Give a volunteer a hand. She's doing great. All right, like I said, this guy does have incredible jaw pressure at this small size, but that's not nearly as impressive as when he gets full grown. They can reach up to 10 to 12 feet in length, if not bigger. And at that size, they actually have the most amount of jaw pressure out of any animal in the animal kingdom, reaching up to and over 30,000 pounds of crushing pressure per square inch of jaw space. And if you see Tarzan out there, who's 78, he's huge. He has a lot of jaw space. That is a lot of crushing pressure. But with that being said, we can actually live very safe with these guys out in the wild, and we follow one simple rule. Does anybody know what that is? Don't feed them. Don't feed them. I'm so happy that message is getting out. These guys are actually born with a natural fear of humans, and if we feed them just one time, they lose that fear of us, and then will hunt us down for food, or make us their food for them. Just after the one time we feed them, even at Cyrus's innocent size, all it takes is one time. And actually, you think you're helping these little guys, you're actually hurting them. Because once we become a nuisance to humans, it does not end very well for these guys at all. But Vanessa and Cyrus did a wonderful job. They're going to head back now. You can give Vanessa a hand. Bye, Cyrus. All right. For my next animal, I am going to need a volunteer. Yeah, I think you in the yellow jacket should come up here. Who's ready, Willie? How are you today? What's your name? This is Lori. I have some questions to ask you. Do you like reptiles? Are you an animal person? Alright. I have a question. Are you married? She's not married. How many ex-husbands do you have? How many ex-husbands do you have? She's not done. Alright. Alright. Well, we do have a very beautiful single woman up here if everybody wants to know. Alright. I lied to you. I'm going to make you hold something. I hope you like snakes. It's a small guy. She doesn't know. All right, you're gonna be Elroy. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not Elroy. This is Jake. Jake the snake. We're very original. I know she does not like snakes. That's why I did this to her. Oh, she's being very brave. All right, Jake here is an African ball python. And this little guy is actually the smallest species of python out there, only reaching 4 to 6 feet in length. And this is about as big as he can get. He is safely, we can say, full grown. Females of the species do, however, get a little bigger. Now, I'm going to ask you another question. I want you to answer this one. Is he slimy at all? No. Oh, they said no. They're not even touching him. Exactly. Snakes are not slimy at all. A lot of people think they are a little bit slimy. They're not. It's actually just the appearance of their scales. That's just the appearance of their scales. Their scales are actually made out of keratin, which is the same material that our hair and fingernails are made of. So if you actually rub the top of your fingernail like that, that is what a snake feels like. They're very dry and easy to touch. It's a little bit heavy too. All right, you can go ahead and put him off to Beth. She's going to walk around for everybody to see. All right, you can give her a hand. Give it up to my mother. Say mom. All right, this little guy's going to be walked around. This guy actually has a pretty cool way of how he got his name of ball python. What they'll actually do if they feel threatened or scared out in the wild is they'll actually coil the body up into a really tight little ball. So say if a lion comes up and tries to attack him, he'll coil his body up into a tight little ball, tuck his head into the center of that ball, and he'll stay perfectly protected. Because what happens is all his vital organs in his head are protected. So if he were to get a couple of nicks and scratches on him from the lion, he'll be perfectly fine. So the lion will bat him around a little bit and get bored, wander off, and he can live on to live for another day. But Jake and Beth did a wonderful job. They're going to head back now. You can give them a hand. All right, we need a really strong person for this next one. All right, I see you in the brown shirt. All right, you have lots of muscles, right? All right, you bodybuilder? And two. All right, what's your name? Kyle? I'm gonna stand like this. All right, Kyle, you ready for this big guy coming out? You're gonna meet Elvis. You're gonna Florida king snake. Oh, nice. Small guy. He's one of our smallest snakes. He's a cutie. This is Elvis. He is our Florida king snake. With that being said, that means he is native to Florida, although we do not see these guys very often because of habitat loss and destruction. I know. Habitat loss and destruction. There we go. He won't bite you, I promise. He's only bit all of us once. Maybe it is your turn. No, I'm just playing. He's never bitten anybody. This is a pretty cool little guy, and I do have a question for everybody. Who here believes me when I say there's no such thing as a poisonous snake? They believe me. All right. Well, you're all completely wrong, just to let you know. There is no such thing as a poisonous snake. They're what we call venomous, and that is for a very good reason. I'll tell you that in a second. All right, you can go ahead and hand Elvis back to Vanessa. She's going to walk him around. All right. Give our volunteer a hand. He did a wonderful job. All right, the reason they're called venomous snakes, not poisonous, is because poison is something you actually have to eat or ingest, such as a mushroom or a bad food. That's how they got the term food poisoning. Venom, on the other hand, has to be injected, such as when you get a snake bite. Now, this is a fun fact for this guy, because this guy, other than the rodents and the rats and the mice that he eats, he can actually eat other snakes, and he can also eat any venomous snakes that we have in this part of Florida. Now, when he eats these venomous snakes, if one of them was to whip around and bite him, he would actually be completely immune to any of the venom that these snakes have. That is just of this region. If you were to take this little guy to another region, such as California, where they have the California king snake, he is not immune to any of that venom, and it can actually end pretty badly for him as well. But another little thing is that as he passes by, you see his little tongue flicking out at you every once in a while. He's not being rude, I promise. What he's actually doing is just smelling you guys. They do not smell through the nose, they solely use that for breathing. What he'll do is he'll actually flick out his little tongue and collect a bunch of invisible air molecules and then touch that to an organ on the top of his mouth called the Jacobson's organ. And that's how you can tell whether you're a predator or prey. All right, Vanessa, you and Elvis did a wonderful job. You can give them a hand as they go back. All right, my next little guy coming out, I'm sorry, I'm not going to need a volunteer for this guy, but he is cute and cuddly, I promise. He's just going to be walking around. You guys are about to meet Juno. He is our chubby, yet young baby Virginia possum. I know he looks cute, but he has horribly sharp claws. I have a couple of myths about these guys that I am going to set straight right now. A lot of people believe instantly that when they feed a possum, he has rabies. That's actually not the case. There has never been a reported case of an opossum carrying the rabies virus, and this is to be believed because their blood pressure is actually too low to sustain the virus. So when you see them in a little corner, all scared and kissing and drooling, I know it looks a little scary, but they do not have rabies. This does not mean that you should go out and try to pet these little guys because they do bite and they do carry lots and lots of other nasty little diseases, so it's not a very good idea. Now there is something unique to this little guy that a lot of people don't know. Anybody tell me what that is? I heard it before? The marsupial, exactly. A lot of people look at this little guy, they think, oh, he's a giant rat. That's actually not the case whatsoever. They actually have pouches, in females rather, where they actually carry their young in. And whenever they do have babies, they have 13 babies, no more, no less. This actually makes this guy more related to other animals such as the kangaroo, the wallaby, and the koala. So he's actually not a rodent at all. But this little guy is nocturnal. We did wake him up, so I'm going to let Beth and Juno go back. He does not have a prehensile tail, right? It's semi-prehensile. He can use it to cling onto the little limbs of the branches that he's crawling on. They are excellent climbers. They cannot hang completely upside down by those tails. That's another myth a lot of people think. You cannot actually do that. You guys just got really creepy and quiet all of a sudden. You scared me. All right. We are going to need 2 volunteers for our next little guy. So I use the pink shirt. One of the pink being very enthusiastic. All right. You guys come right down here. Oh, I'll call you, okay? I'll call you next time. We still have some more animals. Oh, her heart. Stuck in my heart. Oh. All right. I'll call you next time, okay, sweetheart? You want to come stand right here? All right. What are you ladies' names? Gracie and Delaney? All right. You guys like reptiles as well? No? You don't? Do you want... We don't have any butterflies to hold. I'm sorry. Do you want to wait and come back up later? Do you want to hold this little guy? That's a lizard. Do you like lizards? Okay, she'll hold a lizard. All right, go ahead and hold your hands out like this. You're going to meet our 2 little friends from Australia. You're going to meet Spike and Stinky. Are you excited? These guys do look completely different, however, they are both from Australia, just from different regions. You can fight over who gets to hold Stinky. All right. You're the lucky one. There is a reason why he is called Stinky, and if you do not squeeze him too hard, you won't have to find that out. You get to hold Spike. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Now what these guys will actually do is Stinky here is from the rainforest region of Australia, and what has all these little dark patterns and colors, who will rummage under the littered floor of the rainforest and be completely camouflaged. Spike, on the other hand, what he'll do is he'll flatten his body out like a pancake and use those long back legs to cover himself with the sand in the desert in which he lives in Australia. All right, you guys like these little lizards? You want to take them home? Sorry, not allowed. All right. Vanessa here's going to walk them around. You guys did a wonderful job. You can go have a seat. All right, another couple ways these guys can figure themselves out in the wild, because we all know that camouflage does not work 100% of the time, as it has some pretty fun little tricks. What Spike will do if he gets scared is, other than flatten his body out, he'll actually do the complete opposite. He'll puff up his body into a big ball, and all these little spikes will stick out, and it'll look like a giant... Why do I never remember the brown things with the spikes on them? Help me out here. I want to say porcupine, that's not the word. Pine cone. There we go. Pine cone, porcupine. Alright. What we'll actually do is puff his body up, and you definitely do not want to eat a pine cone out in the desert. You definitely want an easy meal, and that does not look appetizing at all. So hopefully the predator will actually leave this little guy alone. If that doesn't work, what Spike will do is puff his body. Oh, he already did that. What he'll do is stand up on his little legs and he'll let out a big mean hiss. And if that doesn't work, he's going to goner, because that's about as mean as a bearded rhinos get. Sneaky, on the other hand, what he can do is he will actually open his mouth and flash out that bright blue tongue of his. If anybody sees it as he passes by, he flicks it out every once in a while. It's very bright blue. He'll open his bright white mouth and flick his tongue around a little bit. And as you know, there's not very many animals in the animal kingdom with a bright blue tongue, so hopefully that'll scare away the predator. If that doesn't work, this little guy is actually the largest species of skink that can drop his tail, much like the little lizards we have here in Florida. And that little tail will wiggle around until he can actually scurry away and hopefully distract the predator so he can go on and live for another day. Well, these guys did a wonderful job. Vanessa didn't do that herself. Give them a hand. All right, I have the baby of the family coming out next. I'm actually going to need 4 very strong hands. Did you want to come up? You can come up and help. I see you up there. Mr. Touchdown, wave his hand. All right, let me try to get some other guys. She wants to come up. I need a couple strong people too. Okay, the one that's like flying in the air over there. That'll work. All right, you guys line up here. Stand there. There you go. There you go. We like babies, right? All right, we all like babies. Let's wait for our last volunteer to get up here. Trying to figure out how to get down. All right, if you want to come stand right here, actually, that would be great. All right, you guys kind of squish together a little bit. All right, come forward a little bit. I don't want you to trip over the rope and all end up in the water and get cold, and that would just not be made for a good day. All right, are we all ready to meet the baby of the family? All right, we're about to meet Jacob, and he is our Burmese python. Today. Yeah, we all excited? All right. Beth is going to hold the head though, so we don't have to worry about that. There you go. Just grab a nice big chunk of him. There you go. All right. I was not lying to you guys. He is a baby. He is only about 4 years old. And this guy, he's probably about, 50 or so pounds. He's kind of heavy. That's how we get our workout here in animal care. Just lift some heavy snakes all day. These guys can actually get up to 20 feet long and weigh over 300 pounds. What do you guys think of it? He's nice and smooth too? Awesome. We do have a problem with these guys though, however. When people buy them in the pet shop, they're nice, cute, small little snakes. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm going to have a giant snake that can eat my sister, right? Well, that's actually not very exciting. When they get about this size, they're too much for a lot of people to handle. So what they actually do is release these guys out to the wild, thinking they're actually helping them, when they're not. These guys are actually overpopulating Florida right now and actually competing with the American alligator for the biggest predator. When 2 of these guys meet up, they can lay over 80 eggs in one clutch, and that is being a very big epidemic here in Florida right now. It's destroying our ecosystem. So anyway, we do ask that whenever anybody buys a new pet, we hope that you do your research on them, because we do not want you to have an oversized baby that you cannot end up taking care of in the end. Well, I know he is getting heavy, so I'm going to let Beth do all the walking around with him. There you go. He's nice and warm too. Give our volunteers a hand. They did a wonderful job. Alrighty, I know everybody here is dying to know, because it is lunchtime, dying to know what type of a prey item this guy can eat. What you're actually going to do, and you can do this pretty much with any snake, is take the biggest part of their body, which is probably down the middle part, the circumference, and you're going to times that by 3. That's actually how big a prey item and how wide these guys can unhinge their little jaws to eat their prey. And that's very impressive actually. It's almost like us, swallowing a watermelon whole without using our hands. I don't think anybody else would do that. So if you can, I would like to see after the show. But I know this guy is heavy and squirmy, so I'm going to let Beth head back now with him. Let's give her a hand. She did a wonderful job. Very nice dance too. Alright, unfortunately we do have our last animal coming out. It's all kind of sad, but I do have a question first. Who here has seen the movie Madagascar? Oh my god. Awesome. Who's seen Madagascar too? Oh, you should go see it. It's a great movie. Alright, well, with that being said, you guys are actually going to recognize this next little guy coming out. This is Julian, or King Julian. That's where we got his name from that movie. He is our baby retail lemur. He is just over a year old. He is very scared though, so I do ask everybody to please kind of keep your voices down a little bit because he does get spooked very easily, and we do not want anybody getting bitten because that would make not for a very good day either. These little guys are pretty impressive. They can jump 10 feet straight across. They are very well jumpers. They actually live mostly on the ground in the forest, although people think that they live in the trees. They do go up into trees, but they do live mostly on the ground. This little guy is called a ring-tailed lemur for a very good reason. As you can tell, he does have 13 black and 13 white rings. Try not to call out to him, guys. You don't want to scare him, okay? But 13 black and 13 white rings on his tail. That's how they got their name. This little guy, however, is going to be doing the behavior of sitting on Vanessa's shoulder, which he does not do very well because he is very excited. But he is actually going to be hanging out on our bridge over here. We do ask that you're not allowed to pet this guy because he does like to bite, and he is teething, and he does get pretty aggressive sometimes if he does not know you. I know he looks sweet and cuddly and cute, but that's not the case. He's actually quite feisty. So I don't want anybody to get bitten, so try not to reach out to him or call out to him. We don't want to scare him or anything like that. But feel free to ask Vanessa any questions about him that you would like to know. But anyway, like I said, he was our last animal, and that ends our show, and that ends all the shows. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you all have a wonderful